Turkey. Seconds away. Mics are going hot now.
Hold on, let me find my.
Well, I've already said the mics are going hot, and they're hot.
Hot.
So you want to say it again?
Hot.
So we can hear you a little bit louder. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
I'm Lee Barrels.
That was a little bit of sneaky behind the scenes audio you got. If you were listening, if you weren't listening, too bad. Oh, yes, you could go back and play it later.
Now they're scrambling to go back to the beginning.
Hump day it is today. This is the 12th of February. 2 days from chocolates and flowers and whatever else you want to consider as a gift to that most beloved loved one.
Friday.
As long as you don't get a whole bunch of them.
Do you realize what the weekend is? Payday weekend for the military and Valentine. You might as well get your stuff and stay in this weekend.
That's a good
I didn't
idea.
think about that.
It's a really important day for florists, Hallmark, supermarkets that have lots of chocolate candy available. 2 days, guys, just 2 days. We're still in the dead of winter, and the doghouse might be a little drafty Friday night if you don't do right. Now, who wants to be the first with why Wednesdays are referred to as Hump Day?
Yeah.
How long? When did this first start? When was it first called Hump Day?
Tell us. Evidently, you've looked
Do you
it up.
know?
In the 1950s, early 50s. It was the middle part
I was
of the
going to say
week.
it's the middle part of the week.
And
If
that's
you're going
the-
over it and you're
in the United States, it's the middle part of the week, and some places it's not.
true that too.
So, because some
Yep.
places have a 4-day work week. And it's based upon the work week, not upon the 7 days a week.
True.
Ask a little kid in the first grade, what's the first day of the week? It'll be Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, it's Sunday, but I
know
hear
that,
you.
but they will always say Monday.
In government, it's Sunday. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anywho, that's a little bit of so-called trivia this morning, and I think it's already warm enough, don't you?
Oh, sure.
Are y'all warm
Let
enough?
me get up and turn it off.
Well, you know, I could call Candy. She's used to doing the remote control thing. Well, before we had the days of remote controls. So, well, whatever. The man on the run is back behind bars today. John Nye was awaiting
Yes.
trial on an attempted murder charge when he slipped out of the Craven County Detention Center about 2 weeks ago. Nye was arrested by Onslow deputies last summer in Hubert after they say he fired shots at them. Nye, with the help of a couple of his cellmates, managed to escape through an air vent. After removing bars over that vent, his cellmates face charges after detention officers say they fixed his bunk to make it look like he was sleeping. He was captured up there in Pamlico County yesterday afternoon, about 4 o'clock or so. Did you see the sheriff of Pamlico County's picture?
No.
He said, Nye said, take my picture and I'll smile. So the sheriff got out his cell phone, got out his cell phone and did a selfie with Nye while the deputies were holding him down. He got in one of those really weird, you got to look at it.
Where was he at?
Pamlico County.
No, I mean at somebody's house, in a store,
His
in a tree
girlfriend
house.
has been arrested
Mhm.
for hiding him. I think
Yeah.
the last name was
Well, this
Laughing
is
House
how-
or something.
Criminals are dumb. Like
No kidding.
I mean, I'm not going to be in the state. Okay, you know, if I were somebody like that and I'm on the lam, okay, I'm not going to stay close to my area. But they always do. That is, I guess, it's familiar.
That's because she was hoarding him. She was hiding him. He
But I
had a
would
place
be-
to go
She was what, him?
I would have left the
Hoarding.
state.
Oh, okay.
with the D. Rayford.
That's what I thought you
Hoarding.
I would have went like some big
Buddy.
city, New York or L.A.
Mm-hmm.
and blended in. And,
Where every other
crowd.
person up there on the streets is a crook.
right. So you blend in. It's going to be
Yeah.
hard to be found. But I'm not going to be hanging out 1 or 2 counties over
Oh, yeah.
at my girlfriend's
Yeah,
house.
especially when they know about it.
Yeah, dumb.
I mean, they
That's
were looking
just-
for him in Onslow County.
That guy deserves to be caught right there for being stupid. Come on.
I'm surprised he lasted as long as he did, 2 weeks
Yeah.
on the run.
And laughing, watching it the whole time.
Yeah, you know bloody well he was paying attention
Mhm.
on TV. So
Here she is right here. Let me see if I can get her picture up. Yep, she was
Well, she don't look the
charged.
smartest anyway, so that says that.
Yeah, that's where she'd been hiding them.
There is just some kind of dumb out there. I watched
Pamlico,
them this weekend, so yeah.
Pamlico County Sheriff's Chris Davis tells us that Cameron Laughing House, Nye's fiance, is also being booked into jail this evening. That was
Well,
last night.
How would she think she wasn't going to be? Come on now.
I mean,
That's aiding and abetting.
Yep.
You mentioned on the lam, right?
I said on the land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, you're on the run from the cops.
Where'd he come from?
I got it from movies. I don't know. I've heard it my whole life. I don't know where did it come from.
Oh, well, it's just it's not spelled LAMB either.
No, it's LAM.
LAM.
Yeah.
That's right.
A lot of people misspell it, call it LAMB.
Yes.
Well,
they
people
Always.
misspell you, your, and there. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
It's just an old thing. It's a
Two
slang,
and
it's
two,
a slang verb.
but and
meaning
but. Oh my gosh, it goes on forever.
They, there, and there.
Yes.
There, and there.
Right.
You and your.
Oh, the things that happen.
I mean, crooks do dumb things, Rayford.
It apparently originated, the first time they did it was 1886. I'm not sure the original source
Really?
of it. Yeah,
Huh.
1886 has been referred to as to run off on the lamb.
Well, it makes
Maybe
sense.
from the lamb-based, which was used in British student slang for beat since 1590s.
That may be.
That
makes
who
a lot of
knows?
sense, actually.
Now you're smarter than you thought you were going to be.
That's right.
Smarter than the 5th grade.
Oh God.
Well, I watched a police check. Y'all know I'm notorious for loving to watch those out of LA because,
yes.
I used to live out there and I like to watch them. I saw the most bizarre thing I have seen. Robin didn't believe it was true till I had to go back and show him.
Was it the drunk driver in the little white car?
No, this was the guy in the
That
Mercedes.
doesn't narrow it down much.
And
Lee.
he was
Oh,
on,
yeah, she knows.
this guy was in a Mercedes and he had gotten really out of control in the city streets. So, of course, you got the police helicopter flying overhead and all the news media, like 4 or 5 of those. And so the LAPD kind of hung back after a while because he started getting really like 100 miles an hour on city street.
Lord.
He got off the freeway. So they said, we're going to hang back.
Mhm.
So they
What
stayed.
had he done?
They thought
Just
he was
traffic
a
or something
suspected
else?
DUI. It's better, yeah.
Okay.
Better. So they hung back to where they could kind of see him, but overhead's telling them where he is.
Mhm.
This idiot goes into a strip mall, stops the car, runs into a liquor store,
Get some liquor.
gets some more stuff,
Oh, good.
jumps back in his car, and continues to chase. Now, the comments of these, it's the same group of people I always watch everybody comments. It was a consensus that they think, and we all, based on how quickly he did it, we all think he just stole it and didn't pay. That's
Could be.
yeah,
Package store.
yeah.
reach in,
He
grab
just
and
ran
run.
in,
Yeah.
grabbed.
He took the time to pay.
Yeah, and because he wasn't in there long enough to that. And to the chagrin of some of the people watching it, the cops at that moment had enough time to come and surround his car, but they didn't.
Mhm.
So they ended up completely calling the chase off because he got crazy. At one point, he hit this little speed bump thing, came completely off this Mercedes. I don't know what kind of Mercedes it was. This is a nice car, but I mean, it was working. So he ended up, how it ended was they had just said, we're just calling the chase off. He ended up parallel parking in a neighborhood finally and just behind a car like nobody's business. And they said, well, we're calling it off. And people are convinced now because he just sat there for a little while and then the news media just turned their camera off because the PD had said, we're not chasing him anymore. Some people speculate he'd been listening the whole time, because it's live out there on TV. I mean, you just put your phone on or whatever, you can hear it. And then he just got out of his car and just started walking away. Wild. Wild. But I do have something that came up at work and I wanted to bring
Okay.
up to you before Dr. Rose came on today. we had a meeting about this on Monday because, kids being targets of substances they're a target of a lot of substances because the theory behind that, especially when it comes to alcohol products and stuff like that, the younger they start, the longer, more money you're going to make throughout their lifespan of them.
Mhm.
That's why most alcohol products are not targeted towards older people because they have a shorter lifespan. I mean, it's a marketing thing, but it has come up in meetings,
Okay,
and that's
thanks.
what their rationale is. So Anheuser-Busch has now partnered with a company called Nowadays. And Nowadays makes THC infused drinks. So it's
What?
drinks infused with THC, which is what gets you high in marijuana.
Yeah.
And in our meeting, we were
Who's
talking.
making that? I mean, Anheuser-Busch?
Anheuser-Busch is going to be distributing it. Yeah.
Okay, but
And Nowadays is
THC?
in their drinks, THC infused drinks. And what we were talking about was the legality for North Carolina because we don't allow, and they were talking
No.
about in the state meeting we were in, they were talking about what would happen if a truck driver is, hauling through because legally he's committing a crime. So they were thinking, he's transporting. So we were thinking about that, not to mention let our youth get their hands on this thing. Well, then, so this has just come out. So all the prevention providers in the state, everybody's kind of scrambling out. What do we do? How are we going to, this is just a new thing that we'll have
We're
to
going
worry
to make
about.
a Coca-Cola. It's a origins
So then
with cocaine in it.
we started doing some digging, and what became even more alarming to some of the providers was so they was like, well, how can you get it? And you can order it online and they will ship to North Carolina, we found out.
I was just looking at their page.
Yeah, and they do ship here.
Now, here's some of the issues that we've got. Yeah,
Mhm.
these states
Yeah,
have, you can do this, you can do that. Federal government hasn't said yet that
Correct.
it's okay, you can do
Right.
that or do this. So
Yeah.
anytime a Fed wants to arrest you,
correct.
or actually in reality, local officers can arrest you on a federal charge and try you in federal court.
Which would be, yeah.
Now that would grab your butt, wouldn't it?
And I wouldn't want to be a truck driver hauling this
No,
product
me
in a
neither.
state that doesn't allow THC products.
You're
And
tempting fate on that one, boys.
And this is, in my opinion, a postal issue too. If you're sending it, because I mean, and this is sadly is a way that kids are going to be able to get this marijuana infused. They claim it. They have been working on trying to put it in alcohol. Now that'll be some THC in the bottle. I mean, can you imagine? So
A drunk pothead.
I mean, and it is sad, but this is geared towards.
Oh no.
They claimed they were originally gearing it towards women. And we laughed at that one. We're like,
why?
I don't know.
So you can get your
I guess
Guinness
women are
with-
more stressed
with
out. I
pot
don't
in it,
know.
huh? Oh,
I mean,
Lord have mercy.
And it's been,
Women are not more stressed out. Women stress people out.
well, I disagree with that, but okay.
Yeah, well,
But they're saying that,
Gee, I wonder why.
why she disagrees with it?
let me see what their
Why we are
little statement.
stressed.
You're going to like this. This is what the company has issued. For us, this is a great alternative for consumers they don't want to drink, but they want to have that functional benefit. I don't know what that means.
Functional
They
benefit.
plug this product in, whether it's a Thursday night, and just don't want the calories during the week, or if they're completely sober and they take it to party and have that social anxiety release when having to drink. So you're going to be high and not drunk. This is what they really listed this because they're marketing as being a lot less calories than alcohol, which is why one reason they were women. Yeah. For people that are health conscious. I just can't. I mean, and we were just all like, this is not, I see the women thing. They have 3 options. It gets better. A micro dose, 2 milligrams THC, a low dose, 6 milligrams THC, and a high dose, 10 milligrams. But you got to understand, it's in a small amount. You're not drinking a 10-gallon jug. Yeah. They're talking about how people they upgrade as they get used to the product.
Did you read the warning statements
There's
on
a huge
it?
warning statement. Yeah, go ahead, Lee.
Yeah, it contains THC. This product is intended for use by adults 21 years or older. You must be 21 to possess or consume. Jumping down all that, can't be pregnant, et cetera, et cetera. This product has not been evaluated or approved by the FDA for safety. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Product contains THC and may cause a user to fail a drug test. And this product contains hemp-derived cannabis and is not certified to be free of contaminants. We need RFK on this.
Because how long is it going to take
Yeah.
for fentanyl to get into this?
About an hour.
You know, like,
Yes.
but this is, they're
I can see the
targeting.
cartel now going to take all the
Mhm.
beer they can get and say, okay,
Yeah,
we're
look
going
what
to
we're
to
gonna
our
do.
factory. We're going to recant it. We're done.
The
I mean-
intoxicating
Oh, Lord have mercy.
effects of this product may be delayed by 2 or more hours, may cause drowsiness or impairment. Do not drive a motor vehicle or operate machinery while using this product. Why is it?
Yeah, I mean, and the worst part about it is they claim they're targeting adults, but this is targeted to kids. They had gotten a group out west where this is already being sold, and they admitted, now they're not admitted on paper, but they admitted, wine coolers.
Yeah.
Jolly targeted to kids.
Let's find
Teenagers.
a store near you.
So yeah, this is just very. It's just some new things to parents, as if you didn't have enough to worry about, and grandparents and aunts and uncles. Now you got to worry about this for your kids, because kids do things in excess.
Yeah.
And there's been what is even scarier. There's been an increase in marijuana related psychosis incidents, even here in North Carolina, even here in Onslow County lately. So it leads me to believe that, you can be allergic. I mean, go with that. B, I've witnessed a marijuana psychosis, and it is not a pretty sight. I watched a guy tear up a Pizza Hut one time on that. And C, I think the pot is different than it was when I was a teenager. I mean, it's then when adults and parents and grandparents were teenagers. It's a whole different breed of marijuana now. It's just grown differently. It's higher content, and other things are now in it. We've had THC. We've had marijuana overdoses here in Onslow County that had fentanyl in them. It was in the
Doesn't grow like that. It's just
it's put
added to
in
it.
there. So
they've had all sorts of things put in
Well, according-
marijuana over the years.
To the website, there's places in Jacksonville you can buy it. The Jacksonville Quick Stop on 30 Road, D&N Gifts on Pueblo Drive. That sounds like a home. And the Good Hemp over there on Yop Road, and the shopping center over there where Walmart is. BP Beach Petro and Moe's Mart in Swansboro, Lucky Stop in Huber, Jake's Variety
but
Store,
this is illegal. Like, this has got actual marijuana in it. Like,
Crystal Coast Vapors.
Well, I can see
It is-
right now that the sheriff and
Wow.
company, they're going to be
Yeah.
hitting some places again.
because this is illegal, and that's what we were talking about, how illegal it is in North Carolina. It is illegal. This is a marijuana product. This isn't CBD. This is actual THC.
You should send all that information
will.
to Senator Lazaro.
I'm going
I think
to,
they need to
because
send it to
yeah, I
the,
would send
Send
it
it
to
to me
him.
too.
because the prevention providers they're like very
Oh,
concerned.
we got a couple of fine young men in here tomorrow that might be interested in that story too.
I'm gonna
Okay.
send you the link to the
You,
website.
Okay, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah,
Some
Interesting.
some high-ranking police types
yeah.
in here
So
tomorrow. So y'all want to stay tuned for that show in the morning too.
So-
It'll be interesting.
parents, if your kid tells you to go buy this nowadays product because it's there's no alcohol in it, to me it looks like a bottle of vodka. It just does, the way it's marketed, the way it looks. Do not buy this product for your children.
Well, what's the state? Do you know what is the state law concerning the content of the THC? Zero.
You cannot have any THC.
Well, why are they selling it here?
Well, we're going to find out,
Yeah,
won't we?
yes.
They might find out too.
Well, a lot of these
Hardly.
stores, you got to remember, are some of the same stores that got busted before by Sheriff Thomas. A lot of these stores, some of these stores that you just named are not only up in.
Oh, yeah. Well, we all
and
know
so
that.
they
That's
just said what they
obvious.
want to do. I mean,
Well, Rayford, I sent you the link
Thank you.
to the website.
so this is scary, but I mean, just something else to add to the things we need to be worried about.
Yes.
A
Nice.
Durham man.
Durham.
You know where Durham is, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Mhm.
Durham
He
man
did.
has entered a guilty plea to trying to join an ISIS terrorist group.
Oh my Lord.
Alexander Justin White, a U.S. citizen from Durham, was arrested at the Raleigh-Durham International Airport back in December after a months-long investigation showed he was planning to travel to Morocco in order to join ISIS.
Morocco.
Just hang in there. There is no IQ test for people wanting to join ISIS, okay? Prosecutors showed that White posted several pro-ISIS photos and videos on Facebook. Well, let me see if that'll get you noticed. He also used the name Suleiman al-Amikri,
That's just too much to write down.
which means Suleiman the American on his social media.
Can we just call him Al?
Call him an idiot, but okay.
White also communicated extensively with an undercover FBI agent for several months, where prosecutors say he mentioned wanting to join the terror group and participated in a staged video call that White believed was with an state commander's spokesperson. He was an FBI agent.
Oh, my
Dang
goodness.
it, boy. No one said he had to be smart to sign up. White now faces up to 20 years in a federal prison. He pleaded guilty.
Well, let me read.
He was called back.
I just pulled up something that this idiot said on doing an undercover agent. That's how he said the undercover agent then asked White if he was okay with killing members of the U.S. military or U.S. citizens.
Let me explain how dumb you are.
White then stated, this idiot, if it was a family member, I would still fight back with them. There is no U.S. troops' love for homeland or any of this thing. First of all, what does that even mean? But yes, I'll kill my family. Yes, I'll kill the U.S. troops is basically what he's saying. But what an idiot. And so he faces 20 years in prison. Is that even enough time?
No, well, no, but that's what they got. I hope
Yeah,
they
he
can,
was
hope they
arrested
can
at the
keep it there.
airport. They got him at
Yeah, he
the
was getting
airport.
rewarded. They wanted to make sure he was going to do it. They just let him go through all the way, and they were waiting for him.
Yeah.
Duh.
He had booked his little flight to France and then Morocco on December 4th of last year.
No refund on the ticket.
2024, and he was scheduled to return to RDU on December 18th of 2024.
Mhm.
Nice. That's just
Well.
month and a
Well,
half
did
ago.
anybody watch the coming home of Mark Fogel last
I
night
did
from
not.
I fell
Russia?
asleep. But
Coming off the plane, and
Yeah.
they took him straight to the White House and Trump waiting
His
for him.
relatives are happy,
Yes. I mean,
but
He
he's
was
also kind of on the dumb side.
he served
You go
3.5
to You
years
go to Russia, and you're carrying what with you?
medical marijuana, but
Right.
regardless of the medical part, it's still marijuana.
That's
You
right.
need to know the country's laws.
No, that's right.
why would you go to Russia? Is my next question.
Well, he
He
was
was a
a
school
school
teacher
teacher.
too.
Yes.
But you can't teach in other. You can't find another country to teach in.
Oh,
Like
I
the
don't
Come on
United
know.
now.
States of America, we have a shortage of
Yes,
school teachers.
come on.
People
now.
go everywhere to visit. Maybe he wanted to go visit Russia. I don't know, but it was a dumb move taking the marijuana with him. But he served 3.5 years out of a 14-year sentence, and Trump got him.
Mm.
Well, he
Back
was
to the
also in
United
a work
States.
camp. You got to understand, these Soviet prisons
Uh-huh.
are not like American jails.
They build roads
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
other things, whatever.
But it was it was a nice homecoming. I mean, they took him from the airport and they took him straight to the White House, and Trump and his team of
He's not a 15, 20-year-old guy either. I mean,
No,
he's got- he's-
they were standing right outside there waiting for him.
Uh-huh.
Could you imagine getting off the plane? The president was waiting for you. And then the president took him into the Oval Office. And
should have slapped him a little bit too.
Yeah.
Wake up.
yeah,
Boy.
well, I'm sure he learned his lesson the
I'm
hard
not.
way.
Oh, he looks
He
aged.
got paid a lot, but cost him a lot. Whatever. Offshore today, a little better weather. Northeasterly
Good.
winds only 5 to 10 knots today. Seas only 4 to 5 feet. They'll be 3 feet near shore. The inlets are going to be sloppy a little bit, so getting out there may be a little problem. And besides, today is going to be really ugly. Sounds and rivers a light chop. Tomorrow, southwesterly winds 20 to 25. Kicking up again, gust up to 30. Seas 6 to 8 feet. 5 to 6 near shore. You won't be able to get there. Sounds and rivers rough. Friday, northeasterly winds 15 to 20. Gust to 30. Seas 4 to 6 feet. 2 to 4 near shore. Sounds and rivers will be choppy on Friday as well.
Today, cloudy, a high of 50. Tonight, it'll be patchy fog after 10 p.m., so please be careful. Otherwise, it will be mostly cloudy with 61 overnight. Wow, impressive.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, that's because that little warm, I'm not going to use the word front, I don't know what warm thing is coming in. It's going to rain tomorrow
Wow.
afternoon. It's going to be 73. We're going to have some 26-mile-an-hour gusts. It's going to be rainy and gross. And then tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, low of 36. It drops back down. And Friday,
Up and down.
53. So we go from 73 to 53 in 24 hours.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Okay, you're practicing to be a meteorologist, right?
No, I'm not.
That a warm thing?
It's a warm thing.
It's a
Okay,
warm
that's,
front.
That's one of those.
Because it's not, they always say warm front. This is not a front because, in my opinion, when a front comes in, it's bringing something with it. This is just coming from
It's bringing
staying
warm
warm air.
with it.
It's only, but it's not staying. I'm usually, in my brain, it's bringing something that's going to last a couple of days.
No.
This is literally a 24-hour,
If it's-
73 degrees.
If it's going to last a few days, they call it arriving and stalling. It's a stalled system.
Right.
there.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
either way, it's a
It's just
thing.
coming up from
This
the
is just
Gulf
a
area,
thing.
bringing us that warm air.
It's going to rain Sunday, but it is going to be 72.
It's going to rain, but we're still in a drought, so bring it on.
We can't be in a drought.
Yeah, we're still,
How can we?
Well,
Really?
we're in a drought.
So I think we still got some snow.
Do you
out there
think
that
about
hasn't
this
melted.
past year? We didn't get much rain. Yeah, we're in a
So
slight
we're
drought.
making up last year. Is that what you're saying?
This 2024 was not that long ago.
Rain killed my garden last year, so let's talk about that, shall we? I mean, come on now.
I didn't have enough rain on mine.
All of those poor immigrants trying to get into the United States for a better way of life. We hear that story every day of the week, don't we? Oh, those poor, downtrodden people. They just want to get here to get out of their country. Well, 8 Venezuelans, who authorities say are tied to the vicious gang TDA, have been arrested and face charges. They're involved in a sex trafficking ring in Nashville and Texas. All 8 defendants conspired to transport women from South America into the United States and forced those women to engage in prostitution. That's what the federal agents are saying. Officials said the trafficking was part of a scheme to promote an unlawful prostitution enterprise in the Middle District of Tennessee. I'm trying to think. And wanted to traffic women to run them prostitutes in the United States.
Mhm.
Would I go into the middle part of Tennessee to do that? I'm not seeing that. You kind of stand out in a crowd, don't you?
In a place like that, yeah.
Venezuelan hookers and gangbangers. 3 of the defendants were also charged with conspiring to commit sex trafficking by using force, fraud, and coercion to compel their participation in illegal commercial sex acts.
Yeah, because a lot of these
Whoops.
women are beaten, drugged, and not allowed to leave. They don't have a choice. It's very sad.
One of the biggest enemies that cops have when they're preparing for a raid for drugs, guns, or anything else is the possibility that someone will tip off the bad guys. Sometimes we would like to believe the leaked information is more of a loose lips slip up than an intentional act to hurt the cops. Unfortunately, there are times when the leaks are intentional and are leaked to warn the bad guys. I was only party to one raid at one time many years ago where a person with knowledge of a search warrant that was issued, where the target was informed in advance, and that target was actually spotted leaving through the back door as the police arrived, proving what you fell a little short of evidence, couldn't prove it. The real border czar this time, Tom Homan, is closing in on the individual believed to be responsible for leaking details of a major ICE operation in and around Aurora, Colorado. That place has become infamous. It's a leak that tipped off violent gang members and derailed planned arrests, in this case, members of the TDA, those guys again, with those members bailing and running before the raiding agents arrived, leaving nothing but empty apartments behind. They prepare for a raid, and that doesn't happen overnight generally. You work it up, you get undercovers, you get surveillance teams, you do all of that, and then by the time you draw the warrants and you get your team together, and somebody has tipped off the bad people, and that's what happened here. Ullman has made it clear that such leaks pose a serious threat to law enforcement, interfering with the takedown of dangerous criminals. And you know what? You can get cops hurt. The LA Times just revealed that an ICE memo about another upcoming raid in the Los Angeles area was leaked. That raid was targeting illegals that would have been deported. A federal investigation is ongoing, and whoever is responsible will likely spend some quality time in federal prison. TDA gang members have been reported committing crimes. How widespread do you think this gang is right now?
Very.
Here's what they know.
Mhm.
They've got it confirmed in 19 states, at
Yeah.
least 19
Oh,
states.
I knows more.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
Confirmed. One of the TDA gang members is suspected of being linked to a mass shooting in Chicago.
Man.
According to a spokesperson for ICE, Ricardo Padilla Grandiolo, whatever his name is, 24 years of age. He's a young punk. Illegally present Venezuelan national was arrested in Raleigh last week.
Ah,
He illegally entered the U.S. near El Paso on October 1st, 2022.
Yeah.
2.5 years ago almost, and was encountered by the U.S. Border Patrol, paroled into the country under the Biden administration, and given a notice to appear for a court hearing. Go figure. He failed to show up for his immigration appointment scheduled for September 12th of last year. And the U.S. attorney waited that long to do that. The U.S. attorney for the Western District of Texas issued an arrest warrant. Good for the system that sucked. Up until now, Trump said the Venezuelan government has also agreed to accept all Venezuelan illegal aliens who were encamped in the United States, including gang members of TDA. And guess what the Venezuelan government's going to do? They're going to pay for the flights back to Venezuela.
good.
I dare say that more has been done to secure our border and to protect American citizens from violence by illegals since January 20th than in the past 4 years. We have deported more people. We've arrested more people. We've identified more bad guys. We know where more bad guys are, and we're going after them left and right. And in spite of what some governors, in spite of what some local governing bodies, mayors, county commissions, whatever, across this country have done, declaring themselves sanctuary cities, is kind of like marijuana, y'all. You can make it not illegal in your jurisdiction, but the feds can arrest you for it because it's illegal in every corner of the United States of America, and good for them. That will show that will put a stop to some of that sanctuary crap. Nothing else does.
I agree with that.
Okay, now we can calm down for just a minute because we have the calming factor of North Carolina
Yes, we
with
do.
us.
Thank goodness.
Dr. Rosemary Stein. Good morning, ma'am. How are you, Doc?
I am doing very well. I was hearing your conversation, and there's a little sticking point, and people might not believe which way the sign for the sanctuary city thing. But many, many years ago, I think when I was running for office for superintendent of public instruction, I stood with the governor at that time as he signed in North Carolina the sanctuary city law, which of course said that they were illegal and that cities were not allowed to harbor illegal aliens and much less of their criminals. From that point, somebody took a picture of me and put it on all the airwaves. When they did that, and a whole bunch of really bad, nasty people out there decided that they were going to take my picture and my name and our clinic and run it to the ground and harass
Really?
employees
I remember that.
and go into mobile parks where my patients were, and they forced them into leaving our clinic. And the employees stood their ground, but they were afraid for their lives. We asked the governor at that time for intervention. He didn't give it to us, so we were his fan after that. But we slowly recuperated, but at the end of that, we had lost about 500 patients. So
Wow.
we're not very fond of sanctuary cities in Steinholz.
I can understand that.
I remember Jonathan Merritt brought Dr. Stein to Jacksonville. It was back 2015. And we had an event there. I was very involved with the GOP. That's when I first met you, Dr. Stein. And she got up there and spoke, and excellent.
I
I
was
mean,
there.
we were behind her 100%, but I remember all that stuff that came after, people going after her left and right. There was no need for it, but you know, it's politics. You know how ugly people are.
Wow.
That's right. That's right. And it's good to understand it, do a little like Ronald Reagan, to trust, yet verify, and then just try to be the better person. And so we never tried to retaliate or say who the people were. And I think Providence has kept a watch over us,
Yes.
because we had a strong stance on doing what was right.
Well, good.
Yep.
You know, it's a shame that things like that happen. And you weren't even up there for that purpose. You were. It's kind of weird.
She took Onslow County now.
Yeah,
she
she
took
did.
Onslow County. We were behind her 100%. But, you know, you get in some of those woke counties. We won't go into it, but they were just brutal.
Mhm. If they consider somebody that Onslow County thinks is a good person, if they consider that person an enemy, then you know what? That person must be really good.
Yeah.
Because you
We've seen
a
a lot of that
you
here.
must have been a real threat to the other
Yeah,
side,
I've seen a
the
lot of
dark
it.
side of this country and this state.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think that a lot of us are viewed upon as being a threat.
Yeah, well,
It's a threat to the way that they live and the way that they do business, which is not on the up and up.
okay. Kelly opened up the door, opened up the war chest this morning early, with the report of some distribution of some non-alcoholic stuff being bottled, canned, or whatever by.
Anheuser-Busch. they're partnering with them
Anheuser-Busch.
now, yeah.
But it's got no booze in it, right?
No, it's got THC.
It's got THC in it,
Mhm.
but they say it's only for kids, or only for people 21 years of age and older. But that stuff is being sold right here in places in North Carolina. I don't think you're going to find them in a grocery store because it does contain THC, which
Correct.
THC in any quantity is illegal.
Yes.
One seed,
Mhm.
one marijuana seed can get you arrested.
Yeah.
I saw it happen. It was a bad move, by the officer, but I saw it
Mhm.
happen. So yeah, it's legal to arrest you for possessing one marijuana seed.
And it's geared towards kids, and they can
Yeah.
buy it online
Yeah.
as
So
well.
this is what you're going to have to look out for in your clinic in the future. Are
Mhm.
kids getting hold of this non-alcohol?
Call it a non-alcoholic spirit. And
And-
what is spirit considered alcohol? But to me, it looks like vodka.
Well, either way, that's what you got to look out for, Doc. How are you going to combat that one in your clinic?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that one will be difficult because it's really a messaging thing again, and it's down to the parents talking to the kids
Yeah.
around the table because kids make bad decisions. They really will. But the fact is, and this is for the parents out there that are listening, that even small amounts of marijuana, THC, or CBD can cause alterations in the children's brains.
Yes.
They are completely not ready for having all of these chemicals into their system and into their brain. It changes their development. You'll never know what your child could have been. And so the best way to do that is to safeguard your kids by talking to them early about staying away. Yes, alcohol. Yes, anything that resembles marijuana, any kind of drug, and any kind of medication that can alter the way they think. These are things not to be taken lightly, and for us to consider that they should not be allowed in our children, that we should be watching what they're doing, but we should also be talking to them.
You know, when they outlawed those candy cigarettes, it was just pure old sugar with a end of colored sugar on the end, one end of it, that made it look like it was lit. It resembling a cigarette that your mama or daddy would smoke. And they outlawed those. If they can outlaw some sugar with some candy with colored on one end of it, and what we can allow THC and some non-alcoholic beverage to end up in the hands of minors, what are we saying about us?
I agree.
What
You're
did we?
completely correct. That we love the money, or
We
somebody does.
We need
That's all.
RFK.
Oh my God.
It's strange.
By the way,
you
I used to love those little bubble gummy sugary things when
Yeah.
I was a kid.
Yeah. Well, these were actually packed and they were labeled with some of the brand names of the cigarettes. Lucky Strike was one of them. I'll never forget. What was it? Marlboro was another one that they had, and then all sorts of. Oh, God,
I remember the Lucky Strike. Rayford, I saw those not too long ago. It was back.
Candied cigarettes.
Yes, they were in a store here in
Must have been
Jacksonville.
mighty old.
I will just say a party store. They didn't have the Lucky Strike or Marlboro on, but they had on the box candy cigarettes and a picture of them. And I'm like, what?
I thought that was gone.
I thought so too.
Jeez.
Maybe
Wow.
they didn't know.
Well, maybe they made a comeback. Maybe they were just
Don't know.
enough pressure was put on in the 50s to get rid of them. Wow. All right. Oh, and my goodness gracious. Quick funny thing. Well, it's not funny either. And I probably shouldn't even ask you, but you know what? Remember the slogan that Lucky Strikes had, LSMFT?
I don't remember.
Make
that.
your day. Lucky Strikes make your day.
No, LSMFT.
No.
Lucky Strike, LS.
LSMFT. It was on the bottom of the packs of cigarettes. And it was on
Made,
every
made for
candy ad.
teens. I don't know.
No.
I,
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
oh,
Oh,
geez.
geez. I would have never. Jeez.
I don't even know why I remembered that,
How do
except
you remember
the
that?
power of broadcast. That was one of the reasons. Once
Yeah, because it was ingrained in your brain. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
LSMFT means Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
We had a Lucky Strike plant in Reidsville. So
I call a
Where I
Lucky
live.
Strike. Only Lucky Strike I know is when I'm bowling. So
I want to go bowling with you.
let's go.
Oh God, how do we get
Dr.
on that one
Rose,
now?
sickness. I know that a 9-year-old last week passed away from the flu. Is it still badly flued here in North Carolina?
It is probably less than last week, but still pretty bad. It's been a ton of kids that have been diagnosed. As I said last week, it's still flu A.
Mm-hmm.
It might mean that flu B is still around the corner. We usually get an outbreak of one and then an outbreak of the other. It usually comes A first, then the B. But all of this has still been all testing A, which is the one that gives you higher fevers and, it sort of roars through rather quickly. But once again, the side effects or after effects of the flu can be pneumonia, sinus infections, can lower your immunity for other kinds of infections as well. So if you have it, make sure that you drink plenty of fluids, you rest, but you also walk around, move around some, eat healthy. If you can get some sunshine, that'd be nice too. But you take care of yourself with it. And if you have a fever and a cough, maybe a couple of days after having the flu and thinking that you're getting better, that's probably a sign that you might have come down with another infection. You need to see your doctor.
It doesn't say if it was flu A or B, but she was from Randolph County, but she was originally sent to Moses Cone and then went to Brenner's Children, and we know where that is. So, yeah, very sad.
Yeah,
Very sad.
talking to one of our former elected leaders here. He's not now, but passed him the other day. I was walking a doggy, and he said he'd been in bed sick with the flu for a week.
Oh,
he
my
was
gosh.
looking kind of rough even at that time. And I said, question in our conversation, did you get your flu shot this year? He said, no. First time I haven't taken one in a long time. I said, whoops.
So sad.
Well, that's enough for me. Glad I got mine. I've taken one every year that they've had them.
Yep. And whatever we can do to stay healthy. I mean, try to exercise, move around, get some sunshine on the days that sun pops out.
And stay away from people
all
who
of
are
those
sick.
things and stay away from big crowds.
And when you're sick,
is not
stay
the time to be
home.
going-
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Quit spreading it.
Mhm.
Stay home.
Yeah, and don't send them to school, please.
Thank you for
They need
saying
to
that.
Stay at home
Yeah.
and be loved on.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
went grocery shopping yesterday, and I I look at an aisle and it's got 2 rows of people in that aisle. I pick another aisle
Mhm.
to go shopping on.
Yeah.
Then I'll come back to that one later
Come
on.
back another time.
I don't want to fight them. I don't want to be around
Go
them.
early in the morning. Just
I
as
don't-
soon as we get done here, go there.
That's not early for me.
But that's the best time I found.
5 o'clock will be the best time, but I've still got to be busy here in the morning.
Hmm.
All right, Dr. Rose, thank you as always.
Thank you, guys. We'll talk
Thank
next
you, Dr.
week.
Rose.
See you
Have a
next-
great,
See you.
great week, guys.
Yeah, you too. Be safe up there
Bye-bye.
because you can get a lot of rain too. Dr. Rosemary Stein, our concierge pediatrician. How's that?
Oh, yes.
And we're a bunch of
She's
children in
great.
here, so we
She's great. Yes.
she is great. She's good.
Well, what she talks about, it affects adults too.
Mhm.
So,
We're awaiting the arrival of Mr. Wright this morning. Ladies, Mr. Wright will be here for you,
Yeah.
just for you. He is Mr. Wright.
is he bringing candy?
He's not one of those kinds of guys. Oh, you talking about for Valentine's Day?
Yes.
Oh no, you go visit them later this week, and he'll might point you in the
Yes.
right direction, which aisle to go on.
Talking about Peter Wright, we're
And I
talking
got a
about
question-
health
And I got a
care.
question for him too. Oh,
I started once again last night. It was around 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Mhm.
And I started getting those fake Medicare calls again, from overseas where they start talking
Anyone
to
know
you.
him, y'all?
Yeah, you can, if you change, what they're trying to do is get you to change to the company they're calling for.
Mhm.
But as soon as I started, I hit block. I hit, disconnect and block.
Mhm.
And as soon as
Call from
another
another
call
number.
from a different number, I got 5 calls in a row. And I'm gonna tell you what, and it comes up as scam, as potential spam and
Yep.
scam.
Uh-huh.
Why can't we get something done about this?
Because we don't have any jurisdiction to reach down the we had the capability of being able to reach down and
Choke
grab
somebody?
somebody by the throat and bring them all the way through the telephone line. I don't care if they're in Israel or wherever they're calling from, Nigeria. I'll drag them all the way here.
I
And
am
then we'll interview them the next morning. What's
I
left of them?
mean, if your phone is flagging it as spam or scammers,
Hmm.
and what happened to the do not call list I signed
Oh,
up
that
for?
was a
Well,
bunch
that
of
thing's
baloney
a
from day
scam.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to tell you about the email, the text I got yesterday. I saved this. I didn't click on the link, but it says, all right, Marine FCU, which I know Marine Federal Credit Union does not come in that way. $150.08 debit from said Rink Hub.
What are you reading? Or what language are you speaking?
I don't know, has been processed. Not yours. Cancel charges at HTTPS.
Don't do that.
And they
Yeah,
get,
you never click those links.
No.
did
that's-
I
that's-
not just
that's-
say
yeah, I
I did
know.
not
Yeah,
click?
do not click
Anyway.
the link.
I'm
No, we're
reiterating to
telling
the people out there.
Yeah. yeah.
That's the newest
Mhm.
scam I've gotten on my phone. And the bank never texts you.
Mhm.
Banks will never text
They
you.
are the wildest stuff. The things you find on the internet.
Yep.
I mean, this came on my phone, and I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, right.
Mhm.
Real quick, Rayford, Texas dentist caught huffing while driving with more than 100 canisters of laughing gas in his car.
Oh, no.
Did you see this?
No, I did not. Laughing
And-
all the way to the bank, was
He
he?
led the cops on a half-mile car chase, and the 3rd time since October he's been arrested on identical charges.
He's a happy
He
dentist,
is
huh?
like, but laughing gas will make you
Nuts.
you talk about a danger on the road in a
Uh-huh.
car.
It's funny.
That is scary. He clearly has a problem. This guy's gonna lose his dentist license.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because this is like, what is this guy doing? He's
Cut him
got,
off from buying that stuff.
He's got kids, and Lord have mercy.
Mr. Wright is in the house.
That's right.
Ladies.
That's
you,
right.
You need your Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright be here. Be
Yeah,
there.
we were just talking about the abundance of phone calls again, starting back up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Well, I got a better one for you.
Uh-oh.
I responded to a TV ad.
A TV ad?
Well,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's got to call this number because you got $900 coming to you. $900 if you've got Part A and Part B, you got $900 coming to you every month to use as you want for groceries, for whatever you want. So I said, you know what? I went to a device that I have that doesn't have a telephone number associated with it. one of those things, kind of like these people do, except mine doesn't show up as a number. I called them, and I was just kind of curious about who they were. And
All right. And is there anyone else in the home who needs assistance as well, or just me?
just me.
All right. And then, so I can pull up the benefits in your area. What is the zip code?
28546.
All right. Thank you. And then, let's see here. So I do see an email address listed on file for you. Are you able to confirm that information?
Email it. You got my email address. You tell me what it is.
Yeah. What do you show?
And she paused for a while. And she finally came back. Oh, it's at gmail.com. Yeah, well, that's a pretty good guess.
Mhm.
The vast majority of the emails in this country
Yes.
are probably at gmail.com, right? So that's the way I see it anyway. But
And the second one's yahoo.com.
that's
I
the other
think.
one. No, you got one or the other. So anyway, I didn't go any further with her. I stopped pretty quickly because anybody else in the house need assistance too? Really? Is this the direction you're going? And supposedly they mentioned another. This is Humana. I said I don't have Humana, and you're not going to change my Advantage plan, are you? No. You need to be sure you put a block on mine. Don't let anybody change it unless I sign somewhere. Because I know what, and I've seen that ad, but I wrote down the first two numbers that I saw that they were using, but there were at least three different numbers are putting ads are all over your TV. $900 in Medicare assistance.
Did it really say $900 a month?
$900 extra per month that will go into your plan, into your Medicare, into your Social Security. There's a scam. I know
can't
it's a
see
scam.
where dollars a month would come from.
Well, yeah. Where's
I
it coming
really
from?
can't.
I have the money. Well, it's we just get the money and we put it into your account.
On your money tree.
So be careful, y'all. I know it's a scam. And they don't have my telephone number because I call them from a device that doesn't have a number associated with it. Well, it does, but it's in the UK.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, so that will work.
I used another one that's in the Ukraine.
Okay, on the UK.
See how mean that I am?
Ukraine. Ukraine.
Well, that's a safe way to do it. Yeah,
Yes, it is.
yeah.
I don't want anybody to have my telephone number that I don't want to have it. So much for that. Okay, Peter, there are scams out there, right? So y'all be careful.
Yeah,
And-
there are. Yeah,
It's some funny, these things just started after the general enrollment in case you want to change. But I guess I am allowed one change in case I wasn't happy with the change that I made.
yes.
And this
you
is
can.
what these people are preying on.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
a conspiracy theorist.
Kelly, did you see this? He's talking about Peter being our Mr. Right.
Mm-hmm.
He's recently volunteered to be on a board for a group of
I
people
know,
who
so
are
I was just
acting as
reading.
caregivers
Mm-hmm.
to their partners or other family members. We're family, Peter.
Yeah.
We're
It's not that
family.
kind of caregiver, Lee.
No.
He doesn't care, but he cares about us.
Yeah,
Yes,
he cares.
but-
He'll come help us if
Yeah.
we're bedridden.
Well, I was reading this, Peter. That's what I was looking at.
Short-term home health care insurance, explain.
Really, so you can get ill anytime.
Yeah, I stay ill is what they tell me, but not that way.
But I come across people often who are looking after a person at home. And it's difficult for people, and I know it because I got ill myself when I was in my 40s,
Right.
and my wife had to look after me. I was bedridden for a year and house-ridden for 10 years, so it could do, and you just don't know.
One of our callers, who I'm related to, she's related to me.
Yep.
She even claims it. But her husband
Mhm.
had a stroke, so he had issues, and she had to give up her job because she had to be full-time care for him.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
this can help.
Yeah, this can help. But This is basically, it provides you with short-term health care insurance for a year.
Okay.
So it can help you get over the hard part. And it can renew if a person recovers after a year, it can reset after 6 months and be completely usable again.
Wow.
There are some examples for something like that. Let's just say somebody has had a heart attack or had a cardiac situation. They don't let you drive, number one. So you're going to have somebody to drive you to do pretty much everything. You can't lift anything over 5 pounds. So you're going to have somebody to pick up everything from your shoes on down.
Yeah.
You're going to have help.
Yeah.
And that person quite often is going to be your spouse.
Yeah, that's how it works, because I could not lift a glass of water.
Right.
I couldn't. I could just about turn a newspaper over so I could read it.
Oh,
It was, but I couldn't feed myself. I couldn't brush my teeth.
really?
I couldn't bathe myself because I couldn't get up out of a bath, and I couldn't dry myself. And that was for a year.
It's pretty intensive.
Yeah. And they could have been really fit before then.
You just never.
You just never know.
Okay, so talk to us about the insurance itself. It is available.
It's available. And if there is a way, if you take a number of drugs, like I take 8 drugs at the moment, that in actual fact, the premium is discounted by the number of drugs you take. So that for me, I'm not paying a premium at the moment. I'm paying $0 for it. They give you $15 per generic drug that you get filled each time you get it filled, and $30 for each brand name drug you get filled. I think it's based on the principle that not everybody will put those receipts into the company, and so mostly they will get they'll make money off of you. But if you put those receipts in, and I'm about to do that for last year now, then your premium goes to $0, or does in my case. I've got 6 generic drugs and 2 brand name drugs, and that will
That's $0 else your premium.
I'll make a little bit of profit. But it gives you the sort of coverage it gives you. You get 12 months of short-term home health care. So if you get skilled nursing care, general nursing care, physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, anastomal therapy, which is if you have a bag on the side, and you've got respirational therapy or chemotherapy, then you get a certain amount per day. $100, $80, $120 or so, with a maximum of, for the basic, you've got 3 levels of plan that you can get, but for the basic level, you can get up to $200 per day for the year.
Really?
$400 for the standard level, and $600 per day for the complete level. So you're looking at if you did claim that for the basic level, it would be $72,000, be $144,000 if you use the full amount, and $216,000 for the complete care.
Now these you list out here some of the things that you can get the benefits for. Skilled nursing. Does your wife? I mean, she's not a skilled nurse or anything like that, right? Necessarily.
No. So she's not included there.
She's not included in this list. Okay.
No, and also the home health aid isn't included on this list. It comes in addition to this. But this is just what you can. So if in any day you get somebody to come to give you general nursing care or occupational therapy, physical therapy, and I have several patients that are having that through their Advantage plans at the moment. They've got someone coming to the house to help, and so if they had a policy like this, then they can claim the physical therapy, for instance, you can claim, I think it's $80 or maybe $100 per day, with a maximum of $200 per day if you have something else at the same time, maybe medical social services coming to the house.
Mhm.
So
Now, do you have to be on Medicare to have this? Is this available only to Medicare recipients?
no,
Patient.
this is if you you can get this at any age,
any
from
age, okay.
well, from age 40 to 85 is the issue age. You can
I
have it
gotcha.
for longer than age 85, but those are the issue ages when it's allowed to be issued to someone.
Okay.
So that provides you quite a lot of coverage, but in addition to that, you also get, if you have a home health aide come to the house to help on a particular day, you can have either 120 days worth a year, or you can extend that. And for me to extend it by an extra 60 days per year is $2 per month I have to pay, just under $2 per month. So
So you could get it for 6 months.
so I can have somebody come for 180 days during that year to provide, to act as a home health aide. And on a basic plan, they get paid $50. On a standard plan, they get paid $100. I get paid, $100. And on a complete plan, I would get paid $150.
So you get paid, but who pays for you have to pay.
You
the home health
arrange
person.
a home
Okay.
health aide.
You take care of that with the money that you get.
And I was asking around, because I've just started, as I mentioned, being on this board for this, for caregivers. And you can get a home health aide, and this is in the Durham area, Wake area, for about $18 an hour by using some of the student services available.
Uh-huh.
So you're looking probably somewhere between $18 to $25 an hour. But if you're looking at $18 an hour and you're being paid $150 a day, then you've got almost 8 hours, probably got 8 hours worth of having a home health aide, for each time you have them there.
Okay. And you've already talked about your medications. If you're taking certain drugs or generic drugs, you get a certain amount. But if my other insurance, my Medicare insurance is paying for those drugs already, but I still get a credit to be
You
applied
get a credit,
for this?
whether it's a $0 cost for the drug
Uh-huh.
or it's a number of times you get that drug filled. So at the moment, my drugs are being filled every 3 months. If
Yeah,
I
mine
actually
too.
changed it to every month, I would actually have. But no, there's a maximum you can claim on the for the drugs to set off the price. On a basic plan, it's $360. On a standard or complete plan, it's $720.
Okay.
But if you don't have enough drugs to make it work, you could always set the schedule to getting your drugs monthly.
Okay. Is this
And
through
doing
Blue
it that
Cross?
way.
Is
Sorry?
this a Blue Cross plan?
No, this is the one we're looking at now. Is a Heartland National
Oh, okay. So
insurance
it's
plan.
separate. It's not.
There are other plans too. There's I've looked at several other ones. GTL has one, Guaranteed Trust Life, and Manhattan has a good one as well. I'm actually thinking for myself and my wife. We've both got this one, the Heartland one. I'm actually thinking of signing up for the other two as well, because it's not costing
Really?
me anything, is it?
Okay.
I mean, it's not costing me a premium because of the drugs that I take, and my wife is pretty much the same.
So each one of
So-
them, look at that.
So then, in the year that I get it, instead of getting, at the worst case, 216,000, I could get 600,000. I don't know. I mean, I'm just, you wouldn't probably, I very much doubt you'd use that much, but you could use a substantial amount.
Sure.
And as I said, the home health aid is an addition to that. So you'll be paid that $50 or $100 or $150 per day for those 180 days, in addition to that amount for the nursing care and physical therapy.
So this is all short term. So, but like in my cousin's case, she's doing this. It's forever.
Yeah.
So these plans don't cover that. You don't have any.
They
long-term.
don't. I looked at long-term care because we were seriously looking at it for my wife, because both her parents had problems with memory later in life.
Sure.
And so we thought it would be wise to get a long-term care, certainly for her. And so we looked at that, and I don't qualify for long-term care because I've been disabled and I've got rheumatoid arthritis that rules me out completely. And so my wife qualifies for it, but it's over $400 per month to get a long-term policy. It covers you for about 3 years of coverage.
Oh,
And
wow.
it just did not seem to make
Much
sense to me. And also that $400 that assumes inflation, I think, was somewhere around 2% a year or somewhere around there. And I think inflation is going to be a lot higher than that in the future. So
At some point in time. Now, if we got, for instance, I have a surgical situation. I'm just going to use me because it happened a couple of years ago. Have that, and I just can't get around like I should for a month. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get through with all that. I'm doing my own thing again, and I'm still on the insurance plan. And if I have another, either cardiac or, pulmonary or break a leg or, whatever, something else happens, is that a different, does that still cover that for another short term?
if so, it rebuilds after 6 months. If you get a letter from your doctor saying that you've recovered, so to qualify, to pre-qualify, there's 3 or 4 simple questions to answer, which pretty much most people can answer. And there's no pre-existing conditions limitation
Gotcha.
in North Carolina for people older than 65. And so that's, and to qualify to actually start receiving money from the plan, apart from the drug side, you can get the drug side at any time, to get those, get that money back for the drugs that you have filled. But to get the skilled nursing and for the home health aid, you have to be missing 2 ADLs, 2 activities of daily living. Maybe you can't
drive.
You can't get up from the bed, or you can't, go to the restroom yourself, or you can't feed yourself, for instance. 2 of those activities of daily living. If you've missed those, then if a licensed health, so what it says here specifically is a licensed healthcare practitioner must certify that you have a cognitive impairment or inability to perform 2 of the 6 daily acts of living.
So they list things like feeding yourself, going to the bathroom, taking a shower. I guess would be 3 of them, whatever they've got listed there. If you can't do 2 of those a day, then you qualify.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
transferring from a bed to a chair, things like that. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I would have qualified for that easily when I got ill.
Particularly if it's an injury or if it's recovering from a surgical procedure that's kind of extensive. I guess that would be, you would be recovering.
Well, what it says, benefits restore if covered home health care services have not been received for a period of 180 consecutive days.
Gotcha.
And a licensed healthcare practitioner has certified that you have sufficiently recovered to no longer require home health care or nursing care services.
Okay.
So yes, and of course you've got to keep paying the premium. But if you've done that, then you.
So if you've got enough prescription drugs to meet the premium, then you're okay. But otherwise, you're still going to have to pay out of your pocket, right?
Yeah,
I mean, some people may not be taking any drugs.
Most people, a lot of people do take drugs.
As they get older, they do. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I come across a few that don't, probably 4 or 5 a year. surprisingly.
Hmm.
Most people do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's pretty interesting. What else? Any other issues that we need to be aware of out there? Is anything coming up? Can we, for instance, if we have fallen in not into a trap, but if we have expressed an interest in a or called for information, not even expressed an interest, but if we called for information like I did yesterday, suppose I called for my telephone number and I had given them my name and my email and my social security number or whatever else they were going to ask. I don't know that they would because I didn't give them that long. But then suddenly we find ourselves switched over to another plan after we've already switched.
Well, I've had people switched over, not really realizing they've been switched over. And
You can take care of that.
If they told me before the time, we can stop it before it goes into place. If it happens after the time, in other words, if somebody does it during this month and I don't find out about it until after March the 1st, then they have to get that. We have to try to get that insurance canceled.
Why isn't there a requirement that I have to sign on the dotted line somewhere before they can change my insurance plan over? I would think that I would need to sign something and it's my signature and it's in writing, not on a computer, because I can do it on Lee's computer or Kelly's computer. I can get into them one way or the other, and I can sign them up for anything.
Well, you can do a voice signature over the phone. That's one thing. Two, there are agents that are signing people up without getting the actual handwritten signature, which they should. So it happens. And they're hoping they're not going to be caught out.
That voice signature, folks, is going to be. Now, do you understand what I told you? Yes. No. Don't ever say that. Don't ever use the word yes when you're dealing with somebody over the phone.
Well, I've had, and that's a very good point, because I've had one person come and tell me, they were just saying to me, just say yes. Just say yes. Just say yes. Yeah. You don't have to do anything else. Just say yes.
Nope.
Nope.
And she said, I would not say yes.
I would not say anything that you want me to say. If you instruct me to say it, lady, gentleman, or whatever I will call you after you get through with this, I will
My
say
yes
no.
came out as a different word. They hung up on me. So.
Yeah, I bet you did.
It was not nice.
I would get guttural.
Yeah, I pretty much did. I was scraping the bottom of the gutter with her. So,
But anyway, so that's a strong. But then even if they figure out some way to slip it through there, I'm sorry, you're going to have to jump through hoops. So you need to have a Peter in your back pocket there to help you out.
Well, the other thing I would be wary about if I were you would be giving your phone number to, or showing any interest into somebody that's calling you up, because they'll then keep a record of that.
Oh, yeah.
And that, I don't know if it's sold to a database of people, but that's how everybody starts getting so many phone calls each day.
Hey, I called it for Pecatan. Now I got an offer to you.
Yeah. I don't get phone calls each day because I've never responded to it. I'm lucky. There's one I do get from Coinbase, somebody trying to scam
I would
somebody
think
for
that
Coinbase, and I don't have any Coinbase things, so I'm not interested whatsoever.
Peter, look, Alabama, Minnesota, Tennessee, Maine, Florida, and they all came in like at the same time. When I hit do not answer and block, it goes right to another number automatically.
I would seriously think that they would get the message when I would tell them what I intend to do with their rotting corpse when I get hold of them.
Stream station.
And you've done do not call.gov as well.
I've done that. I even went back and updated it about 3-4 months ago when all this started again.
The do not call crap?
They ignore that.
They don't work.
They just
I've got new phone numbers about 3-4 years ago, and with a do not call.gov, and never giving my number out to, it's So far, I've been lucky. I haven't been getting it
You
because I've got
just
other
jinxed
agents that
yourself.
do, and they just say it's horrible.
Mhm.
It's
You just
horrible.
jinxed
Yes.
yourself. That statement
Yeah,
right
please
there.
don't.
I'm gonna go
Please
ahead and
don't.
give you your
jinxed
number.
it.
I know. Please don't.
Next time, like, I'm gonna start answering. I'm gonna say, I have a new number. Call this 252-675.
Yeah.
My number is BR549.
Yeah.
People have no idea. People today don't even know what that is.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think I want to give my number out today.
Okay.
But that's actually the number I've got now is a Twilio number, so I could always switch that one off and put it in another one. So
there you go.
There you
If you're still hanging out up there at the Wally World,
I am, yes,
Good.
at Walmart. Yeah.
Walmart,
Thursday and Friday this week.
Thursday and Friday this week. That's tomorrow and Friday. You're going to be at Walmart up on Marine Boulevard North.
Yeah.
Okay, near the intersection of Western Boulevard, right behind the Golden Corral up there.
Let's
Mhm.
go.
Okay. Billy, I think I'm gonna come today. But no, I gotta be out of town
No,
today.
I have-
Tomorrow might be a good day.
No, I'm going to Logan's. That's right. Yeah. I had a meeting today. I thought it was at Golden Corral.
But
Darn it.
anyway, if I get, will I be notified that they have tried to switch me or have switched me over? How do I get a notification?
If you do it earlier in the month, then you'll get the new card during.
I'll get a new card from them.
But yeah, maybe
How about from the old company like Blue Cross that I've got now? They're gonna call me and say what happened.
you might get a letter saying
I get letters from
from Blue Cross saying
I
that
get one every day.
your policy is being cancelled and or being terminated at the end of this month, and if you didn't intend this to happen, then give us a call
Oh, for God's sake.
immediately.
Can I just forward all my Blue Cross and my other insurance letters to you? What's your address? I'm gonna just forward them to your mail. You
Well,
open
that's
them.
like
I don't even open the
2
thing.
years.
Yeah.
2 years in a row, I got
Well, I get
letters from
people
Blue
that-
Cross saying I was canceled, and then of course you found out it was a mistake.
Mhm.
But I have yet to get an apology letter.
Oh,
when
you're
I
never gonna
messed
get
up.
that.
I'm sorry. No,
Yeah.
you're not.
Just get new cards with
sorry,
the
you
same
gotta call.
number. I'm like, okay.
It's Blue Cross. I mean, and some of the things they do. Let me tell you what they did to me.
Blue Cross.
Yes. That's
They've
one
done
of-
me right. I had them for years.
Yeah.
With the
I have
TV
them.
station.
But this is a work issue. We're Blue Cross providers. Like we take Blue Cross insurance for mental health. I get a 1099 at work in my name, not in the company's name, as if, and remember, 1099, no taxes are taken out.
Yeah.
So I contacted Blue Cross and the provider line. I said, hold up. I said, y'all made a mistake. I said, this should come to the company's name. The company got the money. I did not.
Mhm.
And I said, because now this 1099 implies that I received this $2,900, which
Yeah.
I did not receive. I said, so either one or two things going to happen. You need to correct this or send me a check for 29 or whatever the amount was. I put the exact amount. So at least when I turn this 1099, it's legit. Because right now, until it gets corrected, I can't do my taxes because I've got a fraudulent 1099 rolling around. If you don't claim it, you're going to get hit with, you know what I'm saying? Because they turn that into
Uh-huh.
the IRS.
Mhm.
So Blue Cross needs to get their life together and either pay me the 2,900 or send the 1099 to the company.
It's
Take
a-
my name off.
I got the money
Yeah.
for you. It's okay.
Mhm.
They
Yeah,
gave it to
okay.
me.
You gonna fix that for me?
No.
No.
I had
It's
something
free.
like that happen last year. I had a 1099 issued to me instead of my
Yeah,
instead
to
of
the-
my
yeah.
LLC,
Correct.
and so I thought, how do I handle this?
Mhm.
Because when I phoned up the company that did it, they didn't seem bothered about it at all. They said, well, you've just got an LLC. It doesn't matter if it's in your name or the
But it
LLC's
does
name.
matter.
I said, well, for me, it does because I've got a dual member LLC
Uh-huh.
because I've got it. My wife and I are both partners in the
Mhm.
thing. So I said, it actually does make a difference and it has to be correct because it doesn't see through. You've
Mhm.
got to have it correct. And very reluctantly, it took me about 4 or 5 phone calls. They agreed to, and this wasn't Blue Cross, this was
Yeah.
another company. They agreed to change it and I eventually got it correct. But in the meantime, I submitted it as though it had been corrected. And so I put it into the taxes and I put a note on there when I sent the form in just saying,
Mhm.
this is how I've done it because I've asked for this to be corrected.
Yeah, I think there's an IRS agent
Wow.
waiting for you outside.
and it was corrected, so it worked out
Everything's
okay.
good.
So I didn't have to read because I thought if I put it in the way it is,
Right.
then I'm going to have to do a correction afterwards. And that shouldn't be my issue. It's that
But
company's
it becomes
issue.
it'll
So,
be your
yeah.
issue. If it has to
I
be.
hope so. 'Cause
It always is
Otherwise,
that way.
I'm going to owe the money.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
are.
my money. Like,
Uh-huh.
hello.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Okay.
just make the check payable to me. I'll take care of it for you.
I will not.
All right, Peter, thanks again for coming in, and people still have time to see you if they got some
Yeah,
issues,
yeah.
they got some concerns.
And
You know, right now, the concerns are going to be people like me, I think, who are not sure about some of these scams that are rolling around. Probably shouldn't have called him, but I wanted to record the voice and just to aggravate them. But, you know, you just never can tell.
Mhm.
So I think they
$900 a month. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not
show me the money,
surprised
honey.
that's-
I just show me the money, honey. And they want to know if anybody else in the
scary.
household wanted it.
Because someone is going to fall for that.
Yeah, I know they
That's
are.
what's
They're not
sad, is
advertising on
someone
TV
is
for nothing.
Absolutely going to fall for that.
And where
Yeah.
would $900 come from?
I agree.
do
'cause
not.
if they're giving that,
Well,
I want
I'm
it.
sure will be paying for it one way or the other
Sign me up.
if I was going to get it.
Mhm.
Per month.
Yes,
So
Wow.
if
Yeah.
Social Security wanted to pay me money in the first place, that would just just give me more money, honey. Why
Yeah.
are you having to go through
Yeah.
another broker?
Yeah.
No, that's a scam. Somebody prostituting themselves somewhere down the line is all I can tell you. All right.
Yeah. Well, I am going to a Blue Cross award ceremony today, so
Award?
I will be with a lot of other producers,
Okay.
and I'll come back with some information
Good.
for next week. So we'll be able
Excellent.
to go over that next week.
It's an award thing.
Yep. Yeah.
Were you getting an award?
Yep.
You should.
Well, I'm being recognized.
Well,
You
that's
should
good.
bring in your little
Yeah.
trophy or plaque next week.
Yeah. That's good. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So I know you're one of the hard hitting guys out there. I mean, you're not obnoxious. You just make yourself available and you'll answer anybody's questions. I like that.
Mhm.
So, folks,
Very
if you've
good.
got a question, if you want to run by, he's at the Walmart tomorrow, Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
From 10 to 1 and 2 till.
No, actually, it's to make it simple. It's actually ours are a little bit different, but it's 11 till 4. You'll
Okay.
find me there if you arrive from 11 till 4 either day. You'll find me
Okay.
there.
11 to
No
4,
lunch.
a little change, 11 to 4 at the Walmart on Marine Boulevard North here in Jacksonville, 11 to 4 on Thursday and Friday this week. Got it? Got it? All right. And he'll be back next Wednesday. And if you got questions you would like to ask him over the air, if they're general enough or if they're, just you, feel free to call him next week. Give us a call right here during the show and he'll answer. If you've got a question, somebody else has probably got the same issue going.
Yeah.
Somebody out
Mhm.
there. That's the way it generally works. So we'll keep reminding you of that, but just put it down, make some notes, what you would like to ask him next week. You can be a guest as well by telephone, and you don't have to give your number or your name. We won't ask you. All right, Peter, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Cheers.
As always,
All right,
thank
cheers.
you.
Yaki do.
Cheers.
And thanks for everything that you do. Because
Yes.
I every time you're on here, I get people saying, you know what, I have something I learned. Is this, what can I do? How can I see him? Okay, here's his number. Here's where you can go to see him.
Okay, his information is valuable.
And that home health care plan is a good one, I
Yeah.
believe, to go on. It would have helped us a lot. when
I
got
can see
I
that. I
agree.
can see the benefit of that for short-term stuff because
Yeah.
God willing, none of us will have a long-term thing again. But for short-term, I got to show this to the wife. We got to look at this.
Mhm.
Very
gosh.
good. Thank you, Peter.
You sent those links.
I've already done it.
I remember one
Cheers.
time I was in a cast for like 3 months and still had to walk with crutch for almost a year
Mhm.
for some
Yeah.
surgery that I had done. So, things can happen. And when you're in a cast and it's on your right leg, guess what you can't do? Drive.
Yeah,
You,
it's true.
That's number one.
that's
And
a fallacy. I carried mail and drove my own vehicle and used my left foot for the brake and accelerator. The only thing is you have to sit on the right side.
my car's not going to be modified for that purpose. Okay.
Mine wasn't modified.
You sat on the passenger side and drove across.
Yeah,
That's
you
a-
could have done
Folks
that.
don't do that normally. That's a dangerous process.
I drove better doing it that way than I do normally.
Then that tells you something about the way you drive normally.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the story will make you mad
Okay.
You're right.
because this would be it's an airplane story.
Okay. We've had a few of those this week. Last week.
And American Airlines last week,
Your favorite.
they were flying from Austin, Texas to Charlotte. It was
Mhm.
flight 2863. It was on Friday.
Did they make it?
Well, they were suddenly returned to the gate. You're not going to believe why.
Bathroom didn't work.
Somebody had a hotspot on their phone.
Yeah.
And it was named
they had
I
it.
Have a Bomb.
No, really?
Yes. Now, you know how dumb you got to be.
You are eat up with dumb.
Dumb.
And so
Oh,
they
my-
had the gate, took everybody off the plane, took every bit of luggage off the plane, swept the entire people, luggage, and plane for bombs. They had to go back through TSA for screening, and then they were allowed to. Now, I would have found that passenger because this took
Beat him
hours.
down.
Oh, yes, I'm
So
sure.
all these people missed whatever connecting flights they had or whatever activities they were trying to get to. I'm telling you what. I mean, and it ended up leaving at 6:15 at night, but it was like, it took hours. So yeah, I would have lost my mind.
So beat him down.
Because all I could think of, Charlotte operates a flight that goes direct to Dublin.
Oh,
So if you were flying, early enough to try, and it leaves, there's one that leaves at 5, and I think one that leaves at 8, unless they've changed it. Some people would have lost their because flights to Ireland are at night. Would have lost their flight, and in winter it may not be as crowded, but in summer those flights are booked up. It's not like you could catch the next one because unless somebody just doesn't show up for their flight. I mean, you want to talk about, but if people were, going to Charlotte and going to other little airports or whatever, they've all missed their planes. I mean, why would anybody think this was, funny? They said it was intended to be a joke.
yeah.
Like I said, I would have found that passenger. We would have fought them.
We got a lot of blockage in here, so you don't get out of this area so well
Yeah,
from this
yeah,
room.
yeah.
But up in the other area, there's some places that when I just punch things up in here, I've got several, but I know 4 of those are ours right
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
here and up there. But there's one that's called the agency.
I like that one.
There's one that's called the FBI surveillance van.
Mhm.
That's one near my house that has that too.
Is it?
I don't know if I'm reaching. There's no way from there.
I think you're probably reaching a guy that drives around a lot.
Okay.
Because
Because it's.
I
that
suspect I know who it is. So
I need to give mine a cool name. We don't have a cool name for ours. No, I need to do it, but not. I have a bomb.
No.
And my hotspot on my
I'm
phone
coming to get you.
It simply just says Kelly's phone. I need to give it a better name too.
How about Kelly's hotspot?
Yeah, I think it says Kelly's phone. Now, don't even go there, Rayford. That'll get all kinds of weirdos.
Oh, sure, today a little bit better.
You're killing me.
weather-wise. Northeasterly winds 5 to 10 knots, seas 4 to 5 feet, except 3 footers near shore. Sounds and rivers a light chop tomorrow. Kicking up again. Winds out of the southwest, 20 to 25 knots, gust to 30, seas 6 to 8 feet, 5 to 6 near shore. Sounds and rivers rough. Friday, northeasterly winds 15 to 20, gust to 30, seas 4 to 6, 2 to 4 near shore. Sounds and rivers choppy.
Today, cloudy, high of 50. Tonight, patchy fog after 10 p.m., so be careful if you're out that late. Otherwise, mostly cloudy. It's going to be 61. This is so mind-blowing. It was cold last night. Tomorrow, it's going to rain, patchy fog in the morning, and then rain in the afternoon. A high of 73. Winds will be from the south at 9 to 16 miles an hour with 26-mile-an-hour gusts. 80% chance, so it's going to rain, folks. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy at low of 36. Yikes. So we go from 61 tonight to 36 tomorrow night. And then on Friday, sunny, high of 53 in gusts and disgusty.
All right, some of the beeping that I was getting here coming from Skype and one of them CID.ACECB F359E20 Delta D is from GT. It's also known as gold trading signals. They want to me to be their friend.
I
You
get the
know-
same thing.
You know what this funny thing is over here?
Irritating.
You see the one that says BLOCK blocked.
No doubt.
Copy, report URL, block. I have done. And I've reported them.
Yeah, I
Go
like
away.
this because it says waiting for live CID 7 and with the numbers and all that.
Yeah.
And I was getting so many of them. I've only gotten 2 lately.
Well, we just got one just now. So
And then somebody named Derek Harry wants to connect
Derek
with
Harry?
me. Derek Harry. Says, hello, Lee. Nice to meet you. I'm like,
Yeah.
Clark.
Yeah. That's well.
I
Anyway.
mean, it's social media.
United States Agency for International Development. You know what that is? That's that USAID.
Oh, okay.
Provided millions of dollars in
Mhm.
funding to extremist groups tied to designated terrorist organizations and their allies. Middle Eastern Forum, a U.S. think tank. That's a report they have published. The Middle East Forum's multi-year study of USAID and State Department spending has uncovered $164 million of our money, approved grants to radical organizations with at least $122 million going on with designated terrorists and their supporters. I got to get me a name and call myself some kind of a terrorist group and apply for aid.
No.
I need a grant.
No, they'll be watching us. They'll
Well,
be
that's fine. They probably
monitoring
are
us.
anyway.
No, I don't need anybody to know my business.
Billions more of federal dollars have been given to leading American aid charities, which have consistently failed to vet their terror-tied local partners. We've got groups in this country that are legitimate groups, goody-goody groups,
Mhm.
whatever you want to call them. They don't vet. A lot of them do not vet where they give their money, where they give our money, where they rechannel our money. There are terror-tied local partners, and they don't even care about it. They just care about the bottom line. They get tax dollars from various governments. That's why, folks, commissioners, the local city council here in Jacksonville, I know, but in the county commissioners, we hear a lot from them because they're approached by everybody that claims to be a local goody-goody company, right?
Mhm.
We know some of them. United Way is
Oh.
great. That's been vetted time and again and again and again and
Yes.
again and again.
Mhm.
I vetted them in Wilmington because the company wanted me to check them out, be sure they were legit. So if our people wanted to contribute part of their
Mhm.
paycheck every week instead of them doing a lump sum a year, I did that. So United Way is cool. I've never found a problem with United Way. But there are organizations that they may on the surface say, you know, I want to benefit the homosexual activities of hummingbirds.
Mhm.
And that might sound cool to you. If you're one who said, hey, you
A
know,
bird watcher. A bird
I like
watcher.
hummingbirds. They're kind of nice.
Right.
But how do you know that's what that money's really going to?
That is the question of the day.
Like,
You don't
how do you
know.
I mean,
Unless you get down and demand to see the books, unless there's some outside auditing
Mhm.
agency, you assume that the county commissioners are giving their money, they're taking our money and giving it to this group because they're such a goody-goody group, right? Oh, don't you like hummingbirds? Would you like to see hummingbirds benefited here in Onslow County?
well, like we,
Then
you
make some
know,
sugar water and put it out there for them to drink.
this is what make I question because as you know, my agency is a 501c3 nonprofit.
Mm.
We're not a for-profit agency. So basically, and we are heavily grant funded for the substance abuse prevention stuff. We
Sure.
get, you know, federal and state substance abuse prevention grants. Well, in order to get paid, we have to produce receipts and stuff on what we spent the money on. Like you can't just say, "Hey, I spent $10,000," and they're just going to give us 10,000. We have to produce
Correct.
receipts that show, and there's a list of parameters. You know what you can spend and on what you cannot. There's things we can spend. There's things we cannot spend. And salaries with anybody getting federal grants are capped. You know, even for executives or whatever, you can't pay somebody $500,000 a year with federal money. You can't do it. So how and you know you can't buy food now for. It used to be, you know, you could have let's say
A weekly
group,
luncheon.
well, not for your staff, but like let's say I don't know, you have a thank you party for you know all your volunteers or something like
Sure.
that. Back in the day, you could spend $1,000 on like food and stuff. Now it's $3 a person is the most you can spend. You have to show that that's what you spent based on how many people you had
You split
because it
big
was to
burgers,
cut
right?
back. You can't do giveaways now. You know, back in the day, we could give you go to a conference and you get those cool bags
Swags,
and
yeah.
all the swag stuff. You can't use federal money to buy swag now.
Good.
So my question is, you know, all of us are accountable. How is that stuff that Doge has been encountering? How is that falling through?
Because
Tell
they
me
probably
where-
don't get it every year. They probably get it once or twice or three times, and then they suddenly either cancel it themselves and start another scam, calling a different
Because
name.
it appears this money was given prior to an event, like
Yeah, it
the
was.
thing in
Yeah.
Ireland. I'm certain nobody in Gaza is producing receipts for condoms. You know what I'm saying? Like they were just given here. We give you this money, and you go buy condoms for Gaza.
Well, was
you
the
hold
money
this-
sent to them or boxes of condoms?
I think the
Probably money.
I think it's
Probably
the money.
money, right?
And in Ireland, it was the 70,000.
Right.
Because they are. Let me tell you. They are in an uproar over that in Ireland. American media isn't talking about it, but friends and family over there are talking to me about it, and they are. This has real, and it's 70,000, but they are mad as heck. over this.
$70,000.
How much of that went to the actual show?
I
How
don't-
much
Doesn't
pocketed by
matter.
Yeah.
organizers?
Okay, now let's do this right here in not this county right now because this is where I'm living, but in another county where I was living and was in the media
Yes.
there.
Mhm.
You can go to the fire department and they'll give you a ticket to come see our circus, but you give us $25
Mhm.
to come see a children's circus. If you ever see any of those that come see a circus, bring your kid to see a kid's circus. Have you ever been to one of those?
One, it was horrific. I left. It was
Do
awful.
you know what it was? The one that I bought the tickets because I wanted to go
Mhm.
see what it was, but I carried a camera,
Mhm.
TV camera.
Mhm.
This money that was given to the fire department in this
Mhm.
case, because they are the ones that all the money
Right.
supposedly went to, but it goes
Sure.
to a clearing company first. It goes to
Right.
Acme, Delco, whoever.
Mm-hmm.
They get the money, and the fire department will get the
A
profits.
donation, yeah.
They will get the
Mhm.
the actual overhead
But what's
for
the
these
actual
companies
profit?
is 93%.
Mhm.
In this state,
Yeah.
93% of all of those contributions goes to overhead for the company producing this
course.
circus. This circus that I went to was at the gymnasium at a junior high, no, an elementary school or junior high in Wilmington. Okay, I go.
Mhm.
Dogs, cats
Yeah.
Yeah.
were paraded across as
That's
being
just
part of
wrong.
the circus.
Oh, those poor
That
little
was the
animals.
circus. They just walked them around on
Oh,
a leash to
No.
show them to the
Mm-mm.
kids. That was it. That was the extent of the circus.
When I was a representative for the combined federal campaign thing every year, we were given brochures that list all the different organizations that were in the booklet that you could choose from. And it gave their administrative, how much of your dollar goes to administrative fees, et cetera. You would be shocked.
I was
St. Jude's, I was appalled where most of that dollar, I think 90% of the dollar goes to administrative cost and only like 10 cents of that dollar actually goes
Do you
to.
think those ads that are on TV are free?
And
No.
they use those little kids that are cute as heck.
I
And my
know
mama
it. I
fights
know
this
it.
every day. I'm
But-
like, no, mom.
I mean, that's just
Yeah.
an example. You need to research what the administration.
Yeah.
And I know we have a lot of nonprofits that go to the county
Mhm.
and ask
Absolutely.
for money.
Mhm.
And
Thank
the
you.
county requires that they give paperwork, financial stuff to show what they've earned, what they've
As-
raised,
and
where
I-
they've
and-
spent.
and
And
it.
they're required to show what that money was
And
spent.
I
And they don't
thank
get
our
yeah.
county commissioners and the county administration for doing that.
Yes.
And just sometimes
because you have to spend the money first with the
I've
county
watched
before
them.
you get the money.
I watched in the past
Mhm.
one individual on a board,
Mhm.
a county commissioner.
Right.
This organization would come to him,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
and then
scary.
he would sell it to the board.
Yeah, they'll take you out to lunch.
They would
and-
sell it to the board. A commissioner, just one commissioner would sell it to the majority of the board. So they tried.
Mhm.
It didn't work because it was something that he was interested in. They
Right.
thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Special interest.
Yeah.
Right. And that happens.
Be
That
very
happens a
careful.
lot.
If it doesn't come through the county manager or through the board itself,
Mhm.
not through individuals, I'd be very suspicious.
Yeah, well, talking to some commissioners, I in the past, especially with the former chairman, because he's very knowledgeable, they go through, they ask you for your financials. If you can't produce financials, forget it. You might as well go take your the
And-
request out the door, but
And some of these groups are playing to the people around here. They come to us and say, well, they wouldn't give us any money. It was for the children. It's always for the children.
But what are you going to use it for?
Well, it's for the children.
Don't start with that,
well,
right?
It's for the children.
let me tell you about this one organization that
Yeah,
yearly
old cool
was
like me.
getting money from the county and I believe from the city too, to keep the doors open. Well, I happen to know
Was that the babysitters?
No,
Okay.
I happen to know who actually started this organization. And I got thinking about it. So I went on to the Secretary of the State website and I started looking it up. They still had the CEO of this organization listed as this one person who I know 10, 15 years ago.
Oh.
And then when you go on there to look, there's no information. You go on to look at their yearlies, there's no information. And I'm like, well, I sure hope.
Where's Mr. Musk when you need him in the
I'm
State
sure
Department?
hope nobody's giving them money until they get their paperwork straightened back out again.
Every state should have an Elon Musk on their, working for them.
Right,
They need a rich guy. They need
Right.
somebody like Musk who doesn't need the money, number one.
Mhm.
right.
He can't be tempted. I mean, who can tempt him with money, right?
Yes.
They just need somebody like that.
Yes.
An
but
old coot
it-
who gets mad in the mornings because
Mhm.
he's not feeling well.
Yeah.
Just get up on the wrong side of the bed every day.
And speaking of commissioners, last night, Swansboro commissioners put Bill Justice in. They gave him his. They swore him in. They swore him in as mayor.
Oh,
Bill
well,
Justice.
He'll be-
Congratulations.
He'll be sworn out later.
And then Jeff Conway was sworn in as the mayor pro tem. And they do have a vacancy now on the board, and I think they're trying
Do I
to
have to live there?
decide.
Yes, you have to live there.
Yes, to decide
Why?
how to handle that
I drive through
because
there every now and then. I eat
according to their charter says one thing and the state says another. So they're working all that out. So they may end up appointing someone to fill that vacancy, which is good for another 3 years, or they may put it up in November for election. So we'll see.
I say put up, let the people decide.
Yes,
That's
but
just what
Well,
I
wait a
say.
minute. If it's good for 3 more years,
Can't they hold a
How-
special election?
well, if it's good for 3 more years, how are they going to hold it up until just November?
well, that's what I was wondering too. So I'm just telling you what Dave said last night.
You can't
But-
call a special election?
Well, wait a minute now. What they said last night was what Lee just said was it's to fill the unexpired term, which is 3 years,
Right.
according to what you said.
3
right?
years left on it. Yes.
For 3 years, but instead of filling it now for the 3
Right.
years, they could appoint somebody. I mean, they can hold an election. I don't get that.
I don't know.
So that
And their
makes any sense.
audio is really super bad on their meetings.
Okay,
And
who do
so
we have here?
It's Robin.
it's Robin.
Robin, what you been robbing? You been stealing something again?
I've been what?
She said it's Robin, and I said, if you're Robin, what have you been robbing? Who you been robbing?
Oh, goodness.
Okay, that was lame, Rayford. Those jokes are getting.
That wasn't a joke. That was a fact. That was a question.
No, I just heard you talking about the MPOs, and you made a comment or somebody. I think it was Lee, or maybe it was Kelly about the financials, and that's a big thing. You know, we look at all the MPOs, and we got a lot of MPOs that come before the board, and a lot of the board members, or excuse me, a lot of the public think that we arbitrarily make a decision, and et cetera. And one of the things about the MPO is that, you know, when you start going out and trying to get the fan base or the citizens out there to stand behind you and say, well, they're not giving us money or whatever. So it's a more thorough process than just saying, okay, yeah, we're going to do this because it looks like a worthy cause. We look at the financials. We look at things and we look at what they're doing for the community. And yes, we do look at the salaries too
Right.
of the employees of the NPO because that plays a key important role because we have a lot of NPOs that come to us for money. You know, they bank on us for certain funding for certain things, and we don't take it lightly. I'm gonna tell you that right now. In fact, I think the NPOs I think have until March to submit and their requests, and sometimes the requests are, to be quite honest with you, ludicrous. You know, they want so much money, and they want all this, do this or that, and you know we have to be judicious in what we decide to grant some of these NPOs, and And we do look at it hard. We don't just sit there and casually browse over stuff. You know, we discuss it as a board. And you're right. It takes a whole board, not just one commissioner. It takes a whole board to make a decision on whether or not we grant money for one particular NPO or nothing. So, it is a big process, and we do scrutinize it very carefully. That's for sure.
Yeah, I just get suspicious if one commissioner comes and I mean, it can happen. Somebody can come to you and say, Robin, I know you like whatever, and you're a real big fan of this and that, and here's what we're doing as an organization. Could you kind of mention it to the other commissioners and see if there's any room for us to get some money? I understand that, but when I always get suspicious, that's me by nature, but I get suspicious when one individual is doing this. When trying to work around the others. I've watched that, not recently, but I've seen that happen in county commissioners here and in another county as well. It happens. I'm glad you guys have put a stop to it before it gets too far along.
We do. We really scrutinize it well. And when you try to use outside influence per se, like the citizens or and say, hey, we supported you during the next campaign. At this, and once I hear something like that, it's an immediate turn off. It's like, okay, I'm done. If a commissioner comes and has a particular NPO that they're pushing and it's a worthy cause, I'm going to listen. I guarantee you I'm going to listen and I'm going to scrutinize it because we can't just arbitrarily grant everybody their request. Some nonprofits come in and they want $75,000 for what? For their costs, for whatever it might be. And we look at the overall picture. Well, you want $75,000 for us, but what are you getting outside of us? I mean, how much money are you bringing in outside of us? Like some MPOs are bringing in $500, $700, almost $1 million outside of the commissioners. And what do you need our $75,000 for? I mean, what is that? Is that like a slush fund? I mean, what are you doing?
Yep.
And so we do scrutinize it. And one of the biggest turnoffs for us, at least I can speak for some of the board members, or actually the majority of the board members, is when you try to influence us on a particular program without us looking into the financials, without us looking at your statements, what you're doing, how you're spending the money, the receipts that you turn in. Short of that, we're probably not going to approve you. In fact, we've had some commissioners in the past, in the last 9 years that I've been on the board, that wanted to do away with the NPOs.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's a big argument every year. We've had a couple of commissioners say, we're not going to fund anybody, or we're not going to take any new nonprofits in because we're inundated. And so when you have the NPOs coming to you for money, and then we turn some people down and we turn other people, give money to other people, of course, people are going to be upset. But we have to do it for the best interest of what we're spending, and we want to make sure whatever money we're granting to is being utilized for the purpose that they state. And the bottom line is, if you can't produce your financials, or you're not willing to produce your financials, or you don't want to give us any indication of what you're spending it on, my old cop hat comes back on, and a big old suspicion bell rings. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. That's why I'm very suspicious of everything. When it sounds too good, it's probably too good, and God knows.
Well, it's like watching Elon Trump. I'm laughing because he has taken Doge to a higher level. He's reading out all these fraud, waste, and abuse type of programs that we have no business being in, and we're losing millions and millions, in some cases billions of dollars, to stupid stuff that we shouldn't even be funding. And
I want a refund.
So we that's what we kind of do as commissioners. We're kind of like the Doge of the county. We have to make sure that our money is being spent wisely and for a purpose, a purpose for the citizens as a whole. So it's a tough decision, but it's one that we do and that we cherish and we take seriously.
Well, if you don't do it right, I'm going to lead the charge to get somebody like a Musk to come in here and look at all the stuff in the county. Somebody who knows how to do that. It'd be mean,
Hey, I'd welcome him. I'd welcome him to come in and look at our financials, man, because I think personally, Elon Musk is doing a great job, and he's getting a lot of people mad is because the gravy train has stopped.
That's
And,
about time.
That's the bottom line.
Exactly. I was just going to
They're-
ask
they're
you.
mad because they're not getting the money they wanted.
I was going to ask you
That's
your
what the way
opinion
it is.
on having Musk do it. I think he's brilliant.
I like him.
He has no
So, you
fight.
know, look, Elon Musk has nothing to lose. And, you know, President Trump is doing exactly what he was going to do with Elon Musk. So my hat's off to him. And I hope he keeps on doing what he's doing. And now he's gonna target the Department of Defense and some other agencies. And that's going to be very interesting. And I'm waiting
Oh,
for the
I'm
outcome to see
waiting.
what that's all about.
Yeah, we're going to see if they borrow any more $50 hammers that cost $1.50.
Right.
That's right.
Well,
All
you know,
right,
there
guys,
was
Thank
some.
you, Robert. You be careful. Be safe.
Well, you know, Rayford, I don't remember the figures. I'll have to go look it up, but they were talking about something came out about coffee cups used
Oh, yeah.
on the planes and their self warmer, and they were like over $1,300 a piece. And I'll see if I can find it. Did you hear that story
There are all sorts
yesterday?
of things, and matchbook covers with imprints from the White House.
Mhm.
I know the White House. They have, and various government organizations. They have these trinkets every year that ornaments for trees.
I have one.
I've got a bunch of them,
Yes.
but you know what? You got to pay for them. They're not free. They don't give them to you. It's done for people who would like to have a souvenir. As souvenirs, you buy them. Okay, I got no problem with that. That actually probably makes money. Here's one update 2 years ago. We shot down a balloon. Oof, pop goes the weasel.
Yes.
That Chinese spy balloon that floated across the entire United States before one of our fine guys up there flying around put a round through it, right off the coast of South Carolina, was carrying technology from at least 5 American companies. The report's just published. FBI's playing kind of mom right now. Among the equipment recovered from the balloon were a satellite communications module, sensors, and other sophisticated surveillance equipment, some of which was housed in a foam cooler.
Wow.
Made in Japan probably, citing 2 sources of direct knowledge of a U.S. military tactical analysis. The Chinese spy balloon flew from Alaska to the East Coast, shot down by the military February 4th, 2023.
Yeah, but it should have been shot down before it ever got off the
Well,
coast of South Carolina.
Can't,
I know.
because where's it going to land?
Well, when
When that debris comes tumbling
Now, I
down
hear
on a
you,
U.S. city,
but this thing should have, as soon as it crossed over that, over by Russia going into Alaska, is when it should have been shot
should have
down.
shot down once it reached airspace,
Of
which is
USA.
over the ocean.
Correct. That's when they
Shoot
should have
it
shot that
down.
mess down.
Somebody was asleep at the wheel.
Hmm.
And at that point, after that, they can't shoot it down over Canada. Canada would be really
Oh, yeah,
PO'd
they'd be
about that
furious
one.
about that.
You can't shoot it down over, Salt Lake City. That would be bad.
Yeah.
Things when it starts falling, and you got to be careful where your fallout happens.
Maybe if when
And
it,
how about if it had been loaded with nuclear stuff?
well, I agree. I agree
That
with
could have
that
been a
too.
real
That could
major
have been a
problem.
And maybe they should have shot it down when it hit like in Montana lands and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah, but they're fine animals out there.
I
Don't
know
want to
there
mess with
are.
those too either.
Rayford, you like tip lines.
Yeah.
Then you need to call that one that Chuck Schumer opened up. This is
Oh,
like the
really?
greatest thing.
Right.
The
Let's
mean-
call him
Really?
right now.
Oh
Um,
my.
So
You got the-
Schumer yesterday announced a tip line for whistleblowers to report. This is like the
I'll
greatest
report him
statement.
for
Government
scamming us.
abuses of power because he's mad at this. You cannot make
Have
this up.
the number listed? Let's call
They-
right now on air.
Let's do
And
it tomorrow.
so what happened?
Yes,
There is
do
a
it.
link, and they want report. Or okay, I'm sorry. He shared a link calling on whistleblowers, as in the American public, to report violations, saying they are part of vital congressional oversight to hold the administration
Oh,
accountable.
wow.
He's mad at Trump. Okay,
Of course
what
he
he's
is.
doing. Here are the categories you can report: retaliation, wasteful spending, fraud, criminal activity, and other.
I've got some others.
He is calling on our brave public servants. I'm launching a new portal for anyone who wants to expose corruption, abuses of power, and threats to public safety. I'm going to go on that one in a
Here's
minute.
what I want to go
With
first.
the legal
Question.
protections of being a whistleblower.
First question. How much does that poll cost?
Well, it gets better.
You
It
ain't
has
paying for it.
backfired on him
No, I'm sure it
because
has
some
been.
comedian got on there
Uh-oh.
on TV and
It
says,
wasn't me.
"We already have that. It's called Doge." And then
Wow.
Ted Cruz said, "Okay, here's who I want to report: Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Chuck Schumer, and the entire corrupt Democrat Party that weaponized and abused the federal government for the past 4 years." So he's reporting
There's
them.
another one. Okay.
You've got to get that number.
I will
You've got
find the
to do
number,
it.
and I will get it because even Joy Behar brought it up yesterday.
Oh,
Jesus, this is
Joy,
psycho.
Joy the
Um,
bear.
Okay, I don't know who Judicial Network President Carrie Servino is. I don't know who this lady is. And said took offense to his threats to public safety because she wrote a whole thing on X and said, "This is rich coming from Senator Schumer, who stood on the steps of the Supreme Court and threatened Justices Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh, saying they would pay the price for exercising judicial review."
Wow.
Threatening him for that. I mean, this guy probably should have wished well, Chuck Schumer's a weirdo anyway, and I don't like
He should have
him.
thought this one
But he
through.
should have not done either. I'm gonna get the number, Lee. Hold on.
All right, do that. We'll
Yeah.
write it down. We're calling tomorrow.
And
Yeah,
people
we
are
should.
screenshotting on X that they just filed. And this lady wrote, whoever she is, "Thank you. I just replied to him.
Right.
Thank you. I just filed mine. Nature of complaint." She wrote retaliation. Agency or organization involved. The United States
IRS.
Senate. She
Oh.
wrote for when he was. Yeah, I mean, and then she wrote, explained, Lord, this lady wrote a lot. And then she attached a video from YouTube to support Schumer threatening the justices. Yeah. Oh, she even attached the video.
They
of it.
have
You
gone-
How
get
about
it later.
failing to do your job while you're doing all this crap on
Yeah.
while
They're
you're on
doing
the-
all this stuff
feeding
now
at the
that they've
trough.
accused Trump of doing in the
Well, they're
past and
mad
then
that
tried to take
what
him to
they're
court
mad
for.
about is their wasteful spending is now coming
Well,
to
let
light.
me read you this right here. Remember
Oh,
what I
Lord.
said about the
Okay.
coffee cups?
Uh-huh.
In October 2024, a 2-year audit by the Defense Department Inspector General found Boeing overcharged the Air Force by 8,000% for soap dispensers that the service branch paid $149,072 over the market price. Of a selected 46 spare parts that were scrutinized by the audit, the report found the Air Force overpaid $1 million for 12 of them for its C-17 transport planes. That followed a 2018 congressional inquiry that revealed that the Air Force was spending $1,300 for each reheatable coffee cup on its KC-10 aircraft. All this came up, and it just said that they found that the Air Force spent $32,000 for replacing 25 cups. I say give them a paper cup. I say give them a bottle of hand sanitizer. Why do we need to be spending?
I'm going to go.
Money on
I'm
this.
going to go to local governments, not ours necessarily here,
Yes.
because I do not know. But I do know that in some one county, one city, that the city had all of these little plastic things that you guys like to drink water out of. The disposable things with the city's logo on
Right.
it, everything, yada, yada, yada. And they imported the water. From another place.
I remember
We got that
Mhm.
city claims to have great water. Here was my solution.
Yes.
And they give these bottles of water to people, but they also let all of the employees, all the workers out there get all the bottled water with the
Mhm.
city's logo on it, like they don't know where this is coming. Okay. I don't know how much those individual bottles of water cost, but I did a check on it at that time. I had one of my reporters to do it. It was expensive. Then with the imprinting for it. And then these people who go out and work on the job, do you know that those good old big old round cylinder igloo coolers that you used to stop when
I
you
know
were
what
on the
you're talking about,
construction
yeah.
job and
Yeah.
fill it up with ice and water?
Yes.
Oh, they don't do that anymore. You can carry. What do you do with plastic? Okay, there's another dump site problem.
Yeah.
My suggestion was issue every employee that's going to need water out on the job every day 2 canteens. 2 canteens. You can buy them on the surplus market, not a problem, and give it to them and let them fill them up at the various spigots around town where the city water is available to them at City
Right.
Hall, at the city plant. So let them fill it up. When it runs out, You go fill it up again. And not spend
Well,
a
that's
dollar and a
why
quarter for a
I
bottle of
quit-
water.
I quit buying bottled water.
I
I
did.
have a cooler in my house now.
240,000
too, but mine's glass.
240,000
You
plastic
remember
particles
that.
are in every bottle of water
Yes. Yes.
floating. Very tiny, but they
Right.
float. You consume them. Sorry. I don't do those bottled waters.
I have the big 5 gallon that, I just go get refilled in.
I've got good water out here. I fill up ice trays with it. I fill up this thing right here
Yeah.
comes right from my spigot.
I do that too.
Well, I get it delivered in a glass bottle.
Yeah,
I have
we
that
remember
thing.
what happened to the last one. That
Well,
got
he's not allowed to
delivered.
touch it anymore. So,
All right.
yeah, he's not allowed. I found it. It's a portal, y'all. You have to type it in, but I found it. It took some digging.
All right.
www.
Portable portal?
To whistleblowers.
Okay.
That thing. Portal.
Democrats, www.democrats.senate.gov/thing whistleblowers. And it pops right up.
So, but that's on a telephone.
Nope.
So I can't call him?
We can't call him.
He
You
can't
gotta
understand
fill this
me?
thing out.
Oh my.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
can't. I want to
They want your
call.
name.
I did too, on the air.
No, they said phone, but they've taken that part down apparently.
yeah,
I'm still
because I'm
looking
sure
for it.
They couldn't keep up with the phone
Because
calls.
I'm still looking if I can, but right now they've
It's
only left this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Tomorrow we've got
page
a really
not
big
found.
shoe in here beginning at 7:30. And, I'm probably not going to take any calls unless both of these gentlemen would like to take a call. We're going to have long time retired. Well, he's not the police chief anymore for the
Mhm.
city of Jacksonville. He is the public safety director.
That's right.
And he stepped down from his position that included the police chief's position last summer, I think it was. And last July, we have a new police chief replacing Mike Unero. First time we've had a big police chief changeover in quite a while. So
Yes.
it's Mike Unero's been in that position for quite some time. He's still the public safety director for the whole city. So he's handling that, and he's still got the rank of chief. But we've got a new chief here. I met him one day, the
Yes.
day he took office, sworn in, and he did something that day that I just thought was just, he's got a sense of humor, and I'll talk to him about that tomorrow because Chief Phelps and Chief Unero will be in here
I
tomorrow
can't
morning
wait.
together.
I can't wait.
Together. How about that? So we got to clean things up. You got to get rid of the contraband. I got to get rid of the grow station out there so they don't go nosing around and find some contraband. You know how that is. You know how radio
You better
people
clean
are.
up the studios. All I gotta say.
It's clean.
Get rid of all the plants and
Oh, those plants are in the other room. They can't
let's
see
not
them.
open that door.
At least we don't hear that beeping.
Oh yeah, that drove Kelly
That made me.
Is it still in there?
crazy.
Yeah.
No,
You hear it
we've
now?
not heard it in a while.
It hasn't
Stop.
beeped all day.
Yes, it has.
Well,
No, it
I've
has
been having
not.
and you turned it down.
No, I didn't. It's
Well,
just
I'm
close the
not
door.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
It's a sign of a change of temperature out there in the dome to make sure when it gets up, it
Right.
reaches a certain temperature, then it will shut down and it lets me know about it and lets Robbie know about it. Don't let me know about it because I don't hear it. I don't care. But Robbie makes sure the dome stays in the right temperature range. So that's what it does. And I called him and left him a message one day. How do you turn that thing off? And I've yet to get a response.
oh,
Soaking in water didn't work.
It's very annoying.
No, Robbie would have shot me for that one. Okay, we will see you tomorrow morning. Y'all have a really good day and be safe out there. The weather's not looking real good. It's not looking really bad for as far as nasty, but it's
just cloudy
it's just
and dreary.
ugly. It's
Yeah,
just
it's dreary.
Yesterday was.
it's just ugly.
Yesterday was cold.
It was cold.
Yeah,
Yes.
the wind is making even 45 degrees seem really
Well,
cold.
the moisture in air it was bone chilling.
What happened to pretty Februarys? That's what they
Last
used to
night
be.
when I went to let the doggies out for a minute, I could
said
almost
no.
smell that S word in the air. I was
I had to turn my fireplace on last night.
Well, I didn't, but I came close. And I went to sleep and dozed off. God.
All right. See you guys.
Bye. See you tomorrow. Live and local, real talk. We're always awake, never woke. Bye.